This is NECN Tonight.
Tonight on NECN, damaging thunderstorms moving out and drier air moving in when it gets here in your first alert forecast.
Also, a man shot by police after walking into a business with a hatchet.
What we now know about the moments right before the shots were fired.
Also, dozens of cars still stranded after a truck partially collapses a parking garage deck. When people will be able to get a look at the damage.
An NECN investigation, broken utility poles damaging a local man's car. What our team uncovered.
And you'll want to see this, a fish with two mouths, where this rare catch was made. NECN Tonight starts now.
The storm is now centered right over the east side of Haverhill.
You want to get into your safe spot right now.
You want to get underground if you have a basement.
We begin with your first alert weather tonight. Our team of meteorologists, as you just saw, have been tracking storms all day long across New England. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Burnell.
And I'm Melody Mendez. So we've been bringing you live coverage as New England saw multiple tornado warnings and strong thunderstorms today in what was really a 1-2 punch. So here's a live look over Boston right now. Things, as you can see, have quieted down quite a bit. But let's get right over to meteorologist Chris Cloninger now with the very latest. Chris.
Mel, Brian, some of that activity was in Connecticut, where we received this viewer video of a funnel cloud. Still too early to tell if in fact it made contact with the ground, but you can kind of see it right there. I'll put an arrow to draw your attention to it. This is between Glastonbury and Manchester, Connecticut. Right now, National Weather Service calling it a funnel cloud, but there is a 50-50 rule that if the funnel descends 50% of the way to the ground, it's considered a tornado, but we don't know really what's past those trees to know for certain, obviously. Check out these reports. 41 reports coming into the National Weather Service, including 4 funnel cloud reports from the Merrimack Valley into southern New Hampshire and that one just east of Hartford. Damaging wind gusts. We had lightning reports, hail reports. It certainly was a busy afternoon. Now, if we had more rising motion in the atmosphere, it would have been even worse. We would have seen even more widespread damage. So thankfully that did not happen. If you look at Hartford, areas east of Hartford, anywhere from 2 to almost 5 inches of rain. We're talking about a major cool down. Look at that by the weekend. I'll have much more on this fall-like taste coming up in your first alert exclusive 10-day forecast.
All right, Chris, thanks. See you in a little bit. But before we get to fall, let's stay with summer and look at some of this video tonight. For instance, out of Cranston, Rhode Island, showing lightning lighting up the sky. This was sent to us from a viewer. You can see those bolts shooting cloud to cloud lightning there. Damage in Massachusetts today. There were lightning strikes near Plum Island. Video showing across the river back at Newburyport. In Tingsboro, lightning hit the First Parish Meeting House, and there was heavy rain that caused flooding in, among other places, waters on the streets of Haverhill. Multiple reports of damage in Connecticut as well. Chris was talking about east of Hartford. Well, Manchester, Connecticut, east of Hartford, trees were knocked down during the storms, and at one point today, 3,000 customers were without power.
And when you wake up tomorrow, be sure to check the NECN app for the latest forecast. You can also get notifications sent right to your phone when severe weather is close.
Happening tomorrow, about 40 cars that are stuck in a parking garage will be removed after this truck partially fell through the deck, the top deck of the garage. You see it there, the pavement crushed underneath the dump truck. NECN's Malcolm Johnson live for us in Quincy tonight. Malcolm, they're being slow and careful about this, right?
They are. This is a slow and steady process here, Brian, at this parking garage on Furnace Brook Parkway and Copeland Street in Quincy. But things are getting moving here. Take a look. You can see they are installing shoring beams to make sure that the structure here is sturdy before they remove the truck itself with a crane come tomorrow morning.
The whole building did shake for a second.
A dump truck loaded with rocks falls through a parking garage in Quincy.
We were pulling in that parking lot. Just as we pulled in, the truck fell.
The driver fell too. He had no words for us. But Craig Croteau, who works next door and talked to the driver, did.
I asked what happened. He said he pulled in, he needed to turn around, and next thing you know, he fell through the ceiling.
I said, you gotta be kidding me.
Quincy police telling me the driver reported his GPS led him astray and his truck into the lot as he was heading to Route 93.
It should never have been brought on the deck.
Tom Feenan is one of the property's trustees and says multiple businesses used the lot and it's 200 plus parking spots.
Right now we're down quite a few.
Lillian Bonilla's car,
my car's stuck and I can't go nowhere,
is one of the 40 stuck underneath, along with Jackie McCarthy's.
I can't get out until it's structurally sound for me to pull it out.
So the plan going forward is for these crews that you're looking at right behind me here to finish their job in shoring up the building. Once that's done, a crane will come in sometime around midnight to remove this truck from the parking facility. We're live tonight reporting in Quincy. I'm Malcolm Johnson, NECN.
And taking it out is going to be as big a job as it was getting it in there. Malcolm, thank you. Also happening tomorrow, the Catholic Diocese of Burlington, Vermont, releasing a list of 40 known pedophile priests. The report comes after a 9-month investigation by a volunteer committee handpicked by the bishop, Christopher Coyne. The list will be published around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Tonight, the former Massachusetts State Police Union chief is accused of stealing from the group he was hired to represent. The FBI says Dana Pullman used union funds on lavish expenses for himself, and they allege he conspired with a Beacon Hill lobbyist in a money-making scheme. NECN's Michael Rosenfield live outside federal court in Boston tonight with the very latest. Michael.
Melody, investigators say the alleged fraud took place over a period of about 6 years. Both defendants were arrested at their homes this morning and then brought here to the federal courthouse in South Boston to be arraigned this afternoon. He was once the powerful head of the Massachusetts State Police Union. Dana Pullman now accused of stealing money from the organization.
Pullman essentially took money from the pockets of fellow state police.
This is a question of integrity.
Federal investigators allege Pullman, who spoke to us in 2017 about another case, was illegally funding a lavish lifestyle for years. He's accused of embezzling union funds for personal meals, flowers, travel, and gifts, and spending thousands of dollars on a woman with whom he was having a romantic relationship, including a $468 lunch in New York City and a $3,600 trip to Miami Beach.
As if that was not enough, it appears that Pullman also encouraged members of the association board to also submit false expense reports.
Also charged in the case is Ann Lynch, who ran a local lobbying firm. She's accused of giving Pullman thousands of dollars in kickbacks after Pullman pressured companies to send lobbying work to her firm.
Their actions were, without a doubt, disgraceful, underhanded, and fueled by sheer greed.
Both are also accused of obstructing justice by trying to manipulate financial records after learning they were under investigation. And Lynch allegedly lied to investigators when questioned. Neither commented after court, and we tried to reach them at their homes.
It's going to be a trial someday, and that's when you'll see the defense. Thank you.
Investigators say they started to take a look at this case about a year ago, and more charges are possible against others down the road. The defendants today were released on bond after their arraignments. Live in Boston tonight, Michael Rosenfield, NECN.
Michael, thank you. We now have new details about the moments leading up to an officer-involved shooting in Brockton, Massachusetts. Sky Ranger was over the scene today after police shot a man who they say walked into a business with a hatchet. And tonight we're seeing new video of that encounter, but we do want to warn you that video is disturbing. NECN's Catherine Sotnick in Brockton with the story.
Sky Ranger over a chaotic scene at Main and Pleasant Streets in downtown Brockton after a police-involved shooting around 12:30 in the afternoon Wednesday. A shooting that was caught on cell phone by an eyewitness in his car listening to sports radio. In the video, you can see a man with a bag in his left hand, hatchet in his right. He runs in the direction of police and then an officer shoots him. The man drops the hatchet and then goes to pick it up and is tased by police. The man continues to run with the hatchet and he's shot by police again. This cell phone store employee says just moments before the man was shot, he was in his store upset about returning a cell phone.
And he pulled out a hatch and hit the credit card machine.
The employee hit the panic button.
I actually grabbed kind of the machete that we have, to kind of scared him off. But he didn't care.
The employee even ran outside to wave down police from a funeral detail.
He's like really angry. He jumps up and down twice, like provoking the police, and he started rushing towards the police.
Because he wasn't going down, so the other officer who felt that he wasn't being threatened thought that let's try to do it this way.
and that didn't work.
The DA's office says they're not releasing the name of the man who was shot nor the officers involved while the investigation continues by Mass State Police.
I did hear the police saying, you know, put your weapon down, put your weapon down, put your weapon down.
Tonight, the man who was shot is at a Boston hospital. His condition is not known. Reporting from Brockton, I'm Catherine Sotnick, NECN.
Kat, thank you for that. Happening now, mosquito spraying continues in communities. The Department of Public Health says parts of Bristol and Plymouth counties are within the spray zone tonight, with spraying in parts of Middlesex and Worcester counties set to begin Sunday. So far, 2 human cases of Triple E have been detected in the state. And just into the NECN newsroom tonight, Washington Governor Jay Inslee will be dropping out of the 2020 presidential race. Governor Inslee making that announcement tonight on MSNBC's The Rachel Maddow Show. The Democratic candidate had centered his campaign around climate change, having put out a detailed 10-year plan on how he would move the country to clean energy. The Democratic race is already packed with hopefuls. The next debate will be held September 12th.
I would like to see some kind of compensation to some degree.
Damaged utility poles posing problems for a local man who says he was left on the hook after one damaged his car. What the NECN investigators uncovered.
Plus, a rare catch, to say the least, in Lake Champlain that has avid fishermen around the world scratching their heads. Chris?
Brian, the storms are moving out. Temperatures will be going down, but not tomorrow. One more hot day. Much more on that and the taste of fall in your First Alert forecast.
Don't forget your science project.
This summer, Volkswagen is supporting America's teachers. Visit your VW dealer to learn how you can join in. Hurry in during the Volkswagen Drive Bigger event and lease a Value Pack 2019 Tiguan S4 Motion for just $209 a month.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life.
They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and free shipping. That's right, 30% off and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
We have 3 parts. We have the intro.
This summer, Volkswagen is supporting America's teachers. Visit your VW dealer to learn how you can join in. Hurry in during the Volkswagen Drive Bigger event and lease a family-friendly 2019 Atlas S4 Motion for just $329 a month.
It's not the matter of money, just the respect, you know, one business to another.
A small business owner on the Cape trying to get a big corporation to take responsibility for this. Take a look, a power pole crashed down onto his car. He reached out to NECN, to the investigators, after our story about those eyesores spread out around Massachusetts. Our Ryan Kath has more.
Jamie Shaughnessy owns an oil business on the Cape. He's been making home deliveries for 3 decades.
And that's it.
So by now, he's learned a thing or two about customer service, which is why Jamie is pretty sure he's getting a raw deal.
It's just a thorn in my side because it's still there. Like the car's still there. I see it every day.
That car is something Jamie jokingly describes as his sob story, one that's been frustrating him for months.
Maybe that's what they count on, is people will go away.
Jamie also sells used cars and says he was about to unload the Saab to an interested buyer when the pole came crashing down.
The wires and everything came across the top of the car, damaged here.
The unregistered and uninsured car, now a total loss.
I would like to see some kind of compensation to some degree, not just for me, but for anybody else that has this similar situation happen to them.
And here's the situation with the pole that landed on Jamie's car. Back in the winter of 2018, crews installed a new pole at the location. The old pole that sustained storm damage left strapped to a nearby tree. It's called the double pole, and as we told you in June, there are more than 16,000 of the eyesores dotting the landscape of towns throughout Massachusetts.
You know, a lot of people might say, okay, these things certainly look ugly, but what's the big deal? What do you say?
I think safety is the biggest issue. I mean, what if the pole came down and hit a family? Who knows?
Here's how it's supposed to work. Let's say a car hits a pole. Crews arrive and install a new pole, anchoring it to the damaged one to keep it from falling. That web of wires on the old pole then needs to be transferred to the new pole one by one, starting with the power lines at the top, then street lights, cable company, telephone company, and any attachments from the town or city. Until all that coordination is complete, the old pole can't be removed.
They put up a new one, but they don't take the old one. That's not very professional, is it?
State law gives companies 90 days to remove the double poles, but our investigation found it takes an average of 34 months. That's almost 3 years.
It opened my eyes.
Jamie contacted us after seeing the story. In his case, the double pole outside his business in Hyannis was there about a year with wires hanging across the road.
They hung low, real low, going up to that pole in the corner.
And then last February, a truck driving down Willow Ave clipped the wires, pulling down the old pole with it.
You found out how tough this can be to figure out who's responsible.
Correct. It's a runaround. Everybody points fingers.
The truck driver's insurance company determined the lines weren't strung at a legal height. Claim denied. Eversource said its crews had already transferred its wires from the old pole to the new pole. That claim denied too. Comcast, the parent company of NBC, which owns NBC 10 Boston, said not their wires either. Another denial. Which only left Verizon, which owns the pole and typically has the lowest wires. But the telecommunications giant concluded Verizon wires were not involved, and therefore we will not be able to honor the claim. For Jamie, the car might not be expensive, but a little accountability would be worth a lot.
It's not the matter of money, just the respect, you know, one business to another.
City and town leaders say double poles sit in their communities for so long because there's no punishment. This precarious-looking pole has been here in Newton since last November. They're calling on lawmakers to give them the ability to fine utility companies for not following the law.
Ryan Kath, NECN.
First alert weather now. The hardest working people in this newsroom, and I think newsrooms across New England today, were the meteorologists.
No doubt about that. There were storms all over New England, Chris, and we had even tornado warnings up in a few places.
Yeah, all the way from New Hampshire down to Connecticut. It was a busy afternoon. Now, this is the first piece of energy that's moving through that eventually brings us a taste of fall. Tomorrow, you still need the air conditioner to keep you cool. Then you can probably just use the fan on Friday and then open up the windows for some refreshing air for the weekend and beyond. It looks like a prolonged stretch of nice cool air, but up to almost 90 tomorrow. Isolated thunderstorms. Friday, 78 degrees, and beautiful weather going into Saturday, 75 for a high. Areas highlighted in this yellow and green area, temperatures that are below 60 degrees. So watch the progress as this cold front drops off to the south and east. There are the storms that pop tomorrow. Nothing widespread, nothing like what we had today, but they clear out during the early afternoon and evening, and then here comes that cool pool of air off the south and east. South Coast, the Cape, and maybe coastal Connecticut could see a few showers early Friday morning. The front continues to drop south and east. We dry out Friday afternoon, and then that cool air mass becomes entrenched across all of the Northeast, from the Crown of Maine all the way down to central and southern Connecticut. This is going to be a really cool start to our weekend. Saturday's high temperatures only in the 70s and even 60s in northern New England. In fact, these overnight lows could be very similar to what we see when it comes to our daytime highs. by the weekend. So yes, it's muggy in central parts of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southeastern Mass. Temperatures overnight only in the 70s. And tomorrow's a scorcher. Many areas into the upper 80s and low 90s along and south of the Mass Pike. Already seeing that cool air work in, edging its way into Lake Champlain, the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, and the Crown of Maine. And then here comes the change on Friday. Daytime highs only up to 70 in the Northeast Kingdom, the Northern Whites, and through the Crown of Maine. As 70s all the way to the coast into Worcester, Springfield, 80 in Hartford, 82 in Providence. And then by the weekend, as I mentioned, things really start to drop, and you can kind of see those green colors across Ontario and Quebec. Those will drop off to the south and east for the weekend. And again, it's going to be a taste of fall. Here's your exclusive 10-day forecast. So once we get rid of the showers and storms, or what's left of them tomorrow, look at the 70s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Overnight lows into the 40s and 50s for most of us. And then we start to see a slow uptick with our temperatures back to seasonable levels midweek next week, with a renewed chance for at least a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Brian?
All right, Chris, thank you. A shocking sight for people fishing on Lake Champlain. This, a fish with two mouths. Debbie Geddes was fishing with her husband when she reeled it in near Plattsburgh. She let it go, but obviously not before snapping a couple of pictures. Makes your mouth drop open, doesn't it?
That's not weird.
Oh, come
That's not
on.
Weird at all.
Nobody's going to comment on the corny joke he just made. We're going to pretend that didn't happen.
I expected a dope slap from
Granddad
you.
jokes.
I mean, you're lucky you're sitting too far away from me tonight, because I should have just done that.
Short arms.
All right, so look, the chances of the Red Sox making the playoffs are... Are you done? Are you done? We'll have an update on the Red Sox. Plus, the first home preseason game of 2019 is tomorrow. This is usually the important one. Comes to playing with the time with the stars. We talk with one veteran about it. And we'll hear about Brian's corny jokes coming up next in sports.
Welcome back, Earl.
NECN Tonight is on at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Tonight is about news you need now.
There's a heavy police presence all throughout this main roadway area.
A lot of new details really within the last 10 or 15 minutes.
He will face another judge in the morning.
Tonight is about tomorrow's forecast.
The kind of clouds we had in Boston today are the kind that evaporate with the setting sun.
Tonight is about grabbing the score.
Something huge could be brewing down the road.
Tonight is on at 10 on NECN. Always New England.
A wet basement can be a homeowner's worst nightmare. CrackX, industry leader in foundation crack repair, solves concrete problems permanently and affordably. Call us for a free estimate or visit us at crackx.com. CrackX, 25 years of stopping leaks, guaranteed.
Find inspiration in every mile. The Mazda CX-5 with turbo. Feel alive.
During Mazda's season of discovery, lease a 2019 Mazda CUV and we'll make your first monthly payment.
My dad served in World War II. He was my hero. As he got older, he needed more help. I was a caregiver for my dad, and I can honestly say VA healthcare was there for him, my family, and myself every step of the way. The VA offers unlimited healthcare options from routine preventative care to home health and everything in between. It never cost my dad or our family a penny. As a veteran, my dad deserved the best, and so does the veteran in your life. My name is Dottie, and I believe VA cares.
At Marvin, we make more than just windows and doors. We make fresh breezes and nightlights, relaxing retreats, open invitations, and peace of mind. At Marvin, we make windows and doors inspired by how you live, so you're inspired to live well.
From amazing stories of animal rescue to spectacular viral videos, we're celebrating animal adoption on this year's Clear the Shelters. Join us as we highlight the moving moments from the big day. Saturday morning at 10:30 on NECN. Sponsored by Nissan.
Well, 35 games to go, and the Red Sox are not only chasing the Rays, but the Athletics as well for that final wild card spot. Sox are 6.5 back. Yeah, that's not good. Unless Boston goes on a massive win streak and we see a major collapse from both teams, it's looking like an early offseason. The challenges continue. Philly tonight, and the Red Sox will resume a suspended game tomorrow, and then an 8-game West Coast road trip. I haven't even mentioned the Yankees and Rays. Rick Porcello on the mound tonight for the Phillies, against the Phillies, and once again, he labored through 5 innings. He gave up the lead in the 5th when Bryce Harper took a breaking ball that really didn't break to the monster seats. Right now, 4-2 in the 8th. All right, if the Sox don't make the playoffs, despite such high expectation, could someone be fired for this season? The Globe's Dan Shaughnessy writes he'd be shocked if Dave Dombrowski is back. And today on the radio, the president of baseball operations said there's no inside information behind that report. Dombrowski earlier said he'd be surprised to be on the hot seat, but calls Boston a tough market. Yeah, look at my Twitter handle. I know it's only preseason, but it will be nice to see football back at Gillette Stadium tomorrow night. It's the Patriots' first home game, and they'll welcome Cam Newton and the Panthers to town. Week 3 of the preseason mean it's dress rehearsal time, so I'd expect many of the starters to play just a little, maybe to halftime. That includes Tom Brady, Bill Belichick getting ready for a good team that should help them prepare for the regular season. Look, they've had joint practices the first 2 weeks. Now it's really kicking into gear. So we're 18 days away till the Sunday night opener against the Steelers.
Each week, we want to be sharper and sharper. I mean, getting closer and closer to the regular season, so making less mistakes, not making the same mistakes, just going out there competing and trying to build that camaraderie as an offense, defense, and special teams. So we're still trying to find our identity as a team. So, I mean, this week would be a good week to go out there and play against a good opponent to see what we have.
New article out showing the easiest path to the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots have the easiest path, despite winning last year's Super Bowl, they have the easiest path to get to the Super Bowl 54 now that we're in. Strength of schedule is cake. So here we go again. AFC Championship game guarantee. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the Super Bowl again. I'll give my predictions later.
I'll bet Bill Belichick would disagree.
Well, it's always one day at a time.
No easy path to the Super Bowl.
Never.
Never heard either of those before. All right, a woman in New Hampshire celebrating her 111th birthday today. Hazel Nilsson lives in Sunapee. Look at that. I love the hat, by the way. She's originally from Chicago. When Hazel was asked her secret to a long life, she said, "Don't fret, smile, and enjoy life."
Nice. High five for Hazel.
I'm going back on vacation.
Have a great night, everyone, except for Brian Burnett.